Hello there, friends, and welcome back to our little house on the mountain. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my natural skincare routine and sharing some tips with you that hopefully will help you in your journey towards a more non-toxic and natural routine for your skin. I did do a natural skincare routine years ago, but I have gotten older since then, and my skincare routine has changed, not tremendously, but a little bit. This has been my journey to reduce the toxins that go on my skin, go in my body. I have been on a healing journey for years now. My disclaimer is that I am not a doctor and I am not a dermatologist, but I have been on a very long journey of working towards more natural, intentional, thoughtful living. And part of that has to do with my 25-year battle with endometriosis and finding out ways that I can reduce chronic inflammation in my body and reduce my exposure to toxins and chemicals that can create hormonal imbalance and can perpetuate chronic health issues, autoimmune issues, and inflammatory conditions. But whatever your story is, I think that it is always wise for us to take whatever steps that we are able and willing to take to reduce our toxic load. And truth be told, we cannot control all of it. We just happen to live in a time in the world where there is more chemical exposure than ever before in history, to the best of my understanding. And so we can't control all of it. But there are certain things that we can control. We can control what we choose to put in our mouths. We can control, to some degree, what we choose to put on our skin. What we take in through our eyes, we can choose some of that. We can choose some of what we take in through our ears. And we can control some of what we allow into our heart. So if you are here and you're on this journey as well, I just want to say that I think that it's wonderful that you are aiming to live more intentionally in a world that seems like it's living less and less intentionally. I'm not a huge fan of that term anti-aging because all of us age, and aging is a blessing. And so we don't want to see aging as this negative thing that we're constantly fighting against in our culture. It's just constantly in our faces that aging is the enemy and we want to fight against it. I more see it as grace-filled aging, and we want to enter into the flow of that process and do so with as much intention and grace as we can. And my testimony is that 10 years ago, just about, was when I left the modeling industry. I had been in that for almost 12 years, and by the time I decided to leave, I say decided to, but God was kind of kicking me out all at the same time, so it was kind of a convergence of things. It was time, and I'm so glad that I left that industry. But when I left 10 years ago, my skin was in pretty rough shape, and I shared this in my hair care video. My hair and my skin was in pretty rough shape because they're constantly putting very chemical-based things on your skin and hair, and it takes a pretty good beating. And so my skin today, 10 years later, in many aspects, is younger than it was 10 years ago. So that is a testimony to this intentional, more natural, even more historic skincare, and also the way that I have treated my body. That is definitely a testimony to what it can do. 10 years ago, I started having very deep lines right there, and as just for informational purposes, I will be 38 this year, and I'm not wearing any foundation. I have not worn foundation. Time eludes me these days because the last few years have been weird in the world, and I always forget what year it is. But anyway, I believe it's been about 6 years since six-ish years since I've worn any foundation. And when I left the industry, My skin had really dull, dry patches. I was getting not that there's anything wrong with lines, just for informational purposes, I was getting very deep lines right there and very deep lines right here. And those have mostly gone away 10 years later. So for what it's worth, this routine does have positive results. And another way that I look at it is that it's not about the lines. It's about the fact that if your body is more nourished and doing better on the inside, you are going to see that health come through on the outside. And so no matter what beautiful age you are, no matter what pigment skin you have, you're going to see that health come from the inside out. And I talked about that a little bit in my hair care video. Some of these things are going to overlap from that video because many of the things that affect your hair growth and health also affect your skin, but there will be some variances. So hang in there, and I really do hope that you enjoy this video. Let's get right into budget, because I think when we're in the world of natural routines, there can be kind of an elitist attitude about it, levels of crunchy, if you will. And I always see it as this: good, better, best. And some of us may never be able to achieve what we consider best. The brands that we would love to use, or making all of our own products, the exact ingredients that we would like to use every single day, 24/7 for our whole lives. Some of us may be able to do that, and that's wonderful. Some of us may never get there. We may get to the better stage where there's certain things in our routine, certain things in our life that we are going to the next level with. Maybe we're making a few extra of our own products with homemade ingredients, or we're able to get just that slightly better product that is going to be healthier to put on our skin. And some things maybe we won't be able to do that with. But good is just because you're trying. So anything that you are doing to take steps in the right direction, to do something positive for your well-being and your wholeness, that is good. So there's no such thing as failing in this, because if you are attempting to try and put an effort forward, that is good. So good, better, best, all of those things are lovely. So as we go through this video, think of it like that. Anything that I'm doing to make better decisions is good. Someday, or maybe in this area or this area, I can do a little bit better. And maybe there's one thing that's a really big priority for me, and I'm gonna attempt to do the best. Maybe for you, that's what you eat. And then you're able to do better or good in terms of what you put on your skin, or vice versa. And so you have to decide for yourself what your priorities are in terms of moving towards more natural living, and then apply those priorities. And those might shift over time, but applying those priorities in the way that you see fit. Is there anything perfectly clean in the world today? I don't know. We can certainly try our best. But those degrees, again, usually coincide with budget, but not always, because when we're making our own products, we can have something that's a really, really good product and have it cost less than what it would cost if we bought it from a company or from the store. So there are varying degrees of clean. And so if you're only able to do the budget-friendly one that maybe has a couple of the questionable ingredients, but it's missing a lot of the other toxins that are in normal skincare or beauty care products, that's really good. That's a good step in the right direction. And then maybe in one area you're able to just do a little bit more, make some more your own products, or spend a little bit more and reduce those toxic ingredients even more. So that's going to be a personal thing. And again, that's going to come down to budget and priorities. But remember, if you are trying, it is good. Again, not a doctor, not a dermatologist, but I will tell you that a lot of skin conditions do not come from what you put on your skin on the outside. Some of it does. If you are constantly putting chemical products on your skin, those toxins will go inside and then those toxins are going to want to come back outside. So we cake on a lot of chemical makeups, products, things of that nature, and we have skin issues down the road because while it may give you the effect that you're going for in the moment, weeks, months, years down the road, you will pay the price for the toxin going in and needing to come out in some sort of way. This is obviously also true of the food that we eat, has a very direct effect on our skin and our hair. Any toxin that goes in eventually needs to come out. That is how the body survives. There's various ways that toxins come out, but one of the ways is through our skin. And so a lot of acne issues, eczema, and different skin issues have to do with the health of the gut and the health of the liver and diet. There are a lot of people that have skin conditions, even just something like acne, and when they do a gut healing or they cut out a food that they didn't realize that they were sensitive or allergic to, suddenly the skin issue clears up and they realize that it was food. So they're buying prescriptions and they're putting all the creams and they're seeing a dermatologist and it's getting worse or it's just getting a little bit better. And all they had to do was cut out this one food group or this one food product that they were sensitive to and do some gut healing, take colostrum and repair something like leaky gut, go on an anti-inflammatory diet, and ta-da, sometimes the skin condition clears up. So I did want to say that because food and what we put in our body is extremely important. So I have here a little bit of a list, just like we did in the hair care video. Collagen-rich foods, I mentioned this again in the other video, so important for skin, hair, and nail health. Bone broth, chicken with the skin on, sardines, organ meats. You could do collagen products if you don't want to eat those foods. There's liquid collagen, there's powder collagen. I put powder collagen into my shakes, my protein shakes. I'm also big on bone broth, and I take different types of ancestral supplements with dehydrated organ meats in them, and that has been quite life-changing for me with my health struggles, and also I've noticed it in my hair and my skin. I started thinking I was having all this breakage recently, and then I realized it's all brand new hairs growing in since I started taking those. So that has been a wonderful, quote, side effect of increasing mineral-rich and collagen-rich foods. Vitamin C-rich foods are wonderful for your skin. Retinol, vitamin A, and just as a side note, pure vitamin A, retinol, you cannot get from plant sources. You can only get from animal-based sources. Vitamin A in the plant world is called beta-carotene, but the pure vitamin A that's really, really good for your skin and helps your skin age with grace is retinol. Oily fish, again, beta-carotene versus the active form of vitamin A, which is retinol. An example of this, I wrote this down here, you'd need 4.5 pounds of carrots a day to potentially get the amount of usable vitamin A that's in 3 ounces of beef liver or 4 capsules of the dehydrated beef liver. So imagine that in one day, to get the equal amount of usable vitamin A, you could do 3 ounces of beef liver, 4 of the capsules of beef liver, or you'd need to consume 4.5 pounds of carrots. I don't know about you, I love carrots, but that would kind of wreck me. I don't think I could do that. Cod liver oil is rich in vitamin A. Egg yolks, eggs are just a fantastic food all around. They're almost like the perfect food if you get a good high quality egg. That's gonna do wonders for your skin and hair. Grass-fed butter, also wonderful. Healthy fats, can't go wrong. Olive oil, avocado oil. Sweet potatoes, broccoli, citrus, berries, and leafy greens. If you're really having a lot of skin issues, you may want to see a functional medicine doctor and get some gut tests done and see if you're experiencing leaky gut. You may also want to get some allergy testing done or food sensitivity testing done and see what comes up, because you might get those things checked and get some things balanced out, and you'd be amazed at what happens with your skin. Part of that is that hormonal imbalance can cause breakouts. And your liver has a very direct effect on your hormones, how your body's processing hormones, and the amount of different hormones that you have circulating around in your body. Your liver has a direct effect on how your skin is going to look, the tone of your skin, the condition of your skin. And so we want to keep a healthy liver. My recommendation is always to do this very gently. There's like harsh liver cleanses and harsh gut cleanses out there. I don't generally recommend that. I more recommend going the nourishing route than the harsh route when it comes to any of those things. Nourishing and healing the liver and doing gentle detoxification things. Things like drinking milk thistle or taking milk thistle capsules, dandelion root tea. I do have a special tea that I do for more glowy, better skin, and I have it right here. So pretty. Can you see that? So all this is hibiscus powder, between like 1/4 of a teaspoon and a teaspoon, depending on your preference. And I have a tea bag in here that is milk thistle. The milk thistle is cleansing for the liver in a gentle way. And hibiscus is known as, in some of the natural dermatology world, hibiscus is known as nature's Botox. You can use hibiscus in homemade face masks, which I do, and you can also drink it. And it's this lovely shade of pink, and it just kind of makes you feel happy when you see it. So that's an added bonus. And if you wanted to add something anti-inflammatory to that, you could add some green tea in tea bags or some matcha tea in powder. Sometimes I'll do that. Tea is wonderful for your skin. Everybody knows that I am a big tea lover, but tea has compounds in it that I believe are great for helping protect your skin from damage. And my partner for today's video is a wonderful company, Heartily Tea Co. This is one of their bottles. This is the apricot peach green tea. So green tea, a really good high quality Earl Grey. All of these teas have lovely properties in them for your body and for protecting your skin from the inside. Part of the reason why I decided to partner with Heartily Tea Co. is that they are an all-American based business. They are a small business and we like supporting small business. A portion of their proceeds go to veterans, which is something that is pretty near and dear to my heart. I've gone back and forth with the owners of the company. They've been lovely people and I really appreciate their mission behind their teas. I think this would be a great gift for a veteran in your life. Maybe you have a dad who's a veteran with Father's Day coming up and maybe he needs to chill out and have some tea. So I do have a discount code, Tea with Lea, for 15% off any of the single teas. Their bundle packs are already discounted, but if you're gonna get any of the single ones, you can use that discount code and I will have all of that information linked in the description box below. So thank you so much to Heartily Tea Company for partnering with me for this video. Okay friends, let's talk about the routine, skin cleansing. There are many ways that we can do this. One of the more historical methods is oil cleansing. And if you have very oily or acne prone skin, that may scare you. But bear with me because there's a few different things that we're going to talk about. You can actually use oil to cleanse your skin and it will very effectively also remove any makeup or residue on your skin. Two of the oils that are really good for oil cleansing are coconut oil and pumpkin seed oil. Rub the oil in. If you have mascara on or whatever else, get it all in there. And then you just wash and wipe your face and all of the residues and things on your face will be gone and you'll be left with smooth feeling skin. And if you're not in the place yet to make your own or use the Castile soap with essential oils in it or do just a single oil cleanser, you can always just attempt to find a less toxic face cleanser than you are using now. Again, good, better, best. You may not be able to get the top of the line. There's wonderful companies out there that have really pure products, like it's 100% pure Toops and Coops, I think it's called. They have beauty products, Bamboo Earth, I think it is. There's many of them, and they're great. Some of them are really expensive, some are moderately priced. And then there's companies like Acure or Pacifica. They're not the best in terms of all of the questionable ingredients being removed, but in terms of budget, a lot of those companies give you a better option than just some of the mainstream products out there that are filled with chemicals. And so again, if your budget only allows to try out things that are in the better category or the good category, at least you're making strides in the right direction. Then there is toner. I prefer to use rose water for my toner. I just like the way it feels. I love spraying it on my face when it's warm in the summer. Lost the battery there. All right, I was talking about rose water. I love rose water. It's the first thing that I spray on my face in the morning. I'll spray it on my face throughout the day just to wake myself up and refresh my skin. This also acts as a setter. It's not going to work the exact same as a chemical makeup setter, but I have found that rose water with aloe or herbs does work to kind of help set things in place a little bit longer, and I'm a big fan. In terms of a natural astringent, witch hazel is very helpful. You can also use apple cider vinegar diluted with water. I will say apple cider vinegar is very pungent right out of the bottle, and when you first put it on your skin, some people just can't do the smell, but the smell dissipates very quickly, and apple cider vinegar is wonderful for your skin. It will balance the bacteria on your face. It helps with breakouts, and it is a nice astringent for the face. So if that's a smell that you can deal with, that's an option. Also, witch hazel, which I think has just a nice light smell, is a wonderful astringent for your skin. Moving on to face oil or face moisturizer, there are so many wonderful things that you can make for your skin. I will show you some of my favorites. Rosehip oil is one of my favorite oils to use on my skin. One of the most historical oils that is lovely for the skin is raspberry seed oil. Again, we'll link all of these below. You can mix and match these. I do have a blog post on our website that I will also link, where I talk about the different types of oils and the different skin types that they are good for. So you could go to that blog post and you could look down where I have the different oils and the different skin types that they're good for, and you can kind of get an idea of what might work for you in terms of mixing up your own face oil. But I gotta tell you, friends, since I started making my own face oil, that has been a wonderful game changer for my skin. So I just get these amber glass bottles. Some of them will come with labels. I love glass bottles. Mason jars, squeezy bottles, these bottles with the lids. This is great for body oil. I just like glass jars. You can even, if you're on a really tight budget, if something else comes in a glass jar, even like pesto, you just wash it out, keep the lid, get the label off with some rubbing alcohol, and you can use something like that for a homemade body butter or homemade body oil or a salve, and you can just reuse good glass jars. So that's just a side note. I will usually use almond oil or sunflower oil for mine. I find them to be light. They don't feel like they are heavy or laying on my skin. They seem to give my skin a nice glow. So if you're worried about putting heavy oil on your skin, sunflower oil may be the route for you to go. And then I will usually add in a little bit of jojoba oil and or my rosehip oil here, which I told you I love. And then if I want some sun protection, I know this is a heated topic, so bear with me. If I want some sun protection, I will add in some carrot seed oil and also some of what I was telling you, the raspberry seed oil, which was used a lot in historical skincare and is quite good for your skin. I'm gonna say something. Again, YouTube, I'm not a doctor, not a dermatologist, and this is not medical advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. The chemical sunscreens that are on the market, I fear that they might do more damage than they do good. I fear that we may have been bamboozled the way that we were bamboozled like with the food pyramid. But I'm just saying, for entertainment purposes, something to look into. And I know that sometimes when you haven't made your own products before, it sounds overwhelming or like you can't do it, but it really is very, very simple. It feels very luxurious. It's more budget friendly than buying body oil from the store. And again, it becomes like second nature. You'll learn the combinations that work for you. And I have a feeling when you start doing your own oils, you won't go back. And I will say this, any type of oil that you're making for your body or your face, if you add some vitamin E to it, it will make your oil last longer. Vitamin E is a natural preservative. It's wonderful for your skin, wonderful if you have healing little cuts and things like that. So vitamin E is a great thing to have around to add to your products as a natural preservative and to apply directly to your skin. We'll talk about face masks in a minute. I don't do those every day, but let's just talk about the day-to-day. I get up, I spray my face with rose water because it feels so nice and it wakes me up. And then I put on my face oil. I don't wash my face in the morning. If I'm feeling puffy, I'll splash it with cold water, but I don't put any sort of a cleanser or stripping of my skin in the morning. I only do that in the evening. Reason being is that when we overwash, and I talked about this in the hair care video with overwashing our scalp, it's a very modern thing that we just keep scrubbing our skin and our scalps and getting all the natural oils off. And what that's doing is it's signaling to your body that your body doesn't have enough oil. And so it's then going to start overproducing oil and you're going to have all sorts of issues. Or it's going to go the opposite direction and you're going to have all kinds of dullness and dryness. So the overwashing, especially with chemical products, is very problematic for the skin. So I will typically cleanse my face with a cleanser or a cleansing oil. I will spray my rose water. I will put on my face oil with the vitamin E on it. And I will put something a little bit heavier underneath my eyes, like dabbing rosehip seed oil or raspberry seed oil or vitamin E, just like that. And that's basically it. Every once in a while, I will use this product. I'll show this to you. It is Pacifica, so this is a pretty budget-friendly company, and it's called Wake Up Beautiful Retinoid Serum. It is much more gentle than a lot of the retinols that are out there on the market. Retinol might be controversial, I don't know, but this is a retinoid serum. I found it to be gentle. I use a very tiny bit, like a little droplet, not a dropper, but a droplet. And I will put that on my skin. And that's that. I will wake up in the morning, spray my face with the rosehip oil. If I feel like it needs a little bit of a cleansing, instead of washing my face, I could do a little bit of the witch hazel with a cotton ball or whatever the case is. But typically it's just the spray, my face oil, and I'll let that soak in, and then I will move on with my day. I will, however, every once in a while do this. Keeping your lymph system moving is very good for your skin and good for your overall health. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of what this does. So I'll put on my face oil. I'll do this sometimes in the morning after I apply. So I'll do this sometimes in the morning after I apply my face oil if I have time. And the kit that I ordered of this, and not very expensive at all, it came in 4 sizes, and your lymphatic system needs to move. So I'll do a little bit of that. I'll just do this one side. No, I'll do this one side, and I will show you the difference in the color because it brings circulation. So I'll just do 10 here. I'll do 10 here along my cheek. Show you the difference. This also feels good on your sinuses. So do that. I'll do this. It really doesn't take very long, and it brings a lot of circulation to your face. You see that color? I don't know if you can see the pink, but that is the circulation coming to my face there. And you can maybe see it. I'll do it here. See that little bit of color? So I will use this sometimes in the morning. I'll let that just chill out, and then I will come back when that has soaked into my skin, and I will just do a tinted balm. So some sort of a tinted lip balm on my cheeks, on my lips. Again, I don't wear foundation anymore. Friends, I used to have 3 bags just stuffed with makeup. This was many moons ago, and my skin was way worse than it is today. So many chemical products, just a very big mess. And I went through a deep journey with my Heavenly Father on it, and it was very freeing. So I went from 3 big bags stuffed with it to, there's a little wood box over here. I don't know if you can see it. That little wood box right there, I got at a thrift store. That has all my beauty products in it in terms of makeup. I'm not shaming you for wearing makeup. I wear some makeup. I'm just saying that it is freeing when you cast off this idea that you need piles and piles of makeup to be okay. And now the makeup situation has gotten to a point where we are just changing our face. We're changing the shape of our face with the makeup, with the filters, and it's just become very disingenuous. And I again told the story in the haircut video. I know I've said it before. I don't mean to be a broken record, but in the modeling industry, I heard things, and there are nice people in the industry, but there are a lot of people that do not care about you, and their main goal is to get you to buy their products. And one of the ways they do that is to make you feel bad about yourself. Because if you feel bad about yourself, you'll feel like you need more of their product. It's a game. And my skin was worse when I was putting the makeup on it. And there was a transition period, just like with the hair care, the natural hair care. There was a transition period where my hair was getting really greasy on top, and it needed time to adjust to the more natural routine. Your skin will do the same thing. If you are starting to gently heal your liver, your gut, take certain foods out of your diet, begin to actually nourish yourself, not diet, nourish yourself, and use more natural products, your skin might go through a transition period, but don't give up. Don't give up if you're at that point where you're like, this is happening and that's happening. Give it a moment, because I went through a transition period also. And then one day I remember I was like, oh, it's doing better. And it's better than it was before. How is that possible? How is 10 years later my skin going in reverse? But it seems like right now they want us focusing a whole lot on what's skin deep. With all of the superficiality and the narcissism, but also with the obsession with what shade of beige you are, and being hyper-focused on what shade of beige you are and what shade of beige someone else is, as opposed to looking into the content of character, and even beyond that, the fact that they're made in the image of the Almighty Creator. And so I would dare us to be deeper than that. But anyway, off of my little soapbox and back to face masks. Face masks for me are really simple. I do love them. I typically will do something simple like some hibiscus powder. So I have a little cup. You can just have a bowl. I will put some, just depending on how much skin you're going to put it on will determine the ratios, but I just put some hibiscus powder and some bentonite clay. All this stuff you can get online very easily. A little bit of water. You want it to be a thick paste, so not so watery that when you put it on, it'll just melt off and not so thick that you can't glide it on. So I have a little paintbrush and bowl hibiscus powder, bentonite clay. You could also add a greens powder like a spirulina, is nice for your skin. And I will put some water in that, make my paste, and I will paint it on my skin, let it sit on there about 15 minutes. Everything just feels really nice afterwards. You can be as complicated about this or as simple as you want, as fits your season of life and your lifestyle. But that is what I do. I do a little bit of under eye concealer. I do the tinted balm on my lips and my cheeks. I brush these burly eyebrows. I don't put anything on them. I just have to brush them. I got these from my grandma and they like to go all kinds of directions. So I give those a little brush and I will put a little bit of mascara on. I would say if you want to start transitioning away from foundation, doing something like a BB cream or a tinted primer would be a good way to transition away from foundation without having to go cold turkey. And then as your skin improves, maybe you want to release it altogether. But that's totally up to you. I want to thank you all so much for coming back to our little house on the mountain. If you are new here, I would love to have you stick around and subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you from the bottom of my heart for always being here and hanging with me. And if you wouldn't mind liking this video, that would be lovely. And don't forget to check out Artillery Tea Company. I will have the discount code, their website, and all of that in the description box below. I really do think this would be a nice gift for a veteran coming up for Mother or Father's Day. So don't forget to check them out. Thank you, friends. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And remember, you're more than skin deep. See you next time. Bye.